Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to IHSA High School Football Playoffs here on Clutch Sports Media 815, presented by D1 Training Rockford. Alongside my partner, Zach Larson, I am Trevor Larson, and we're here live at Kelsey Field at Hononegah High School in Rockton, Illinois for round one of the playoffs between two Nick 10 teams, as the 31st seeded Auburn Knights square off against the number 2 seed Hononegah Indians. We've got an excellent afternoon for football here on this late October Saturday, as we bring you today's game-cast of a game that took place 8 days ago, in which the Indians wrapped up their undefeated conference championship season with a 42-12 victory over these Auburn Knights. Speaking of those Knights, Zach, let's dive into the road squad. Auburn making its return to the playoffs for the first time since 2019 behind head coach Willie Tolin, and an offensive attack that can beat you through the air and on the ground, spearheaded by Anthony Purifoy, the quarterback, and running backs Patrick DeBose Jr. and A.J. Moore, as this offense finished with more than 900 yards through the air and on the ground this season. They've got a tough task ahead of them, but how about this? Of their 5 wins this season, 4 of them came on the road.
Yeah, Trevor, they did a really nice job beating the teams that they were supposed to beat this year. We saw in week 2 jumping out to a victory over Guilford 35-34, which maybe came as a little bit of a surprise to some people early on in the year, and then they came out and made statements week 3 and 4, scoring 40 points against Freeport and East. And so they've had some nice performances. The next step for them is going to be eventually beating kind of the big 3 here in the conference, and then they did lose 12-6 against Harlem, but they were right in that football game. So, maybe they can make some noise today and spark some sort of an upset. It's going to be difficult against this undefeated number 2 ranked Indian squad, but it'll be hopefully an entertaining game to watch.
Yeah, we saw them last year in week 1 against the Harlem squad on our first broadcast with Clutch Sports Media. We thought that this team could be a playoff team a year ago. They did not finish with the requisite 5 wins, but this year, under second-year head coach Tolan, they've really took a step. We'll take a brief pause for the national anthem and be back with you with some more preview. Very nice rendition of the national anthem by the Hononegah Marching Band. Speaking of, let's head over to those Indians, see what they have done this season. They're coming off their 3rd undefeated season since 2018, another conference championship, and just 1 game this season decided by less than 27 points, and that was a game against the Boylan Titans that you saw right here on Clutch Sports Media 815. This is a team loaded with talent and experience. They're the number 2 seed in the Class 7A playoffs, as they're looking to make a deep run in the playoffs after a rather disappointing end to last season in which they dropped the opening round. They've got a lot of seniors, including the Nick 10's leading passer, Cole Warren. Got a lot of playmakers up and down this roster on both sides of the ball. Sure, we'll see a lot of two-way players. And, that conference championship was really the first step this season. They're looking to make a big run down to Normal and compete for a state championship.
Yeah, Trevor, you mentioned Cole Warren. He's up over 1,300 passing yards on the season. His next completion will be the 100th of the year for the senior quarterback. And, they've got a rotating roster of running backs as well. It doesn't matter whose hand the ball is in. They're a threat to pick up a first down or go even further. So, it's going to be a fun team to watch. We expect them to make a deep run into the playoffs. And hopefully for their sake, they're firing on all cylinders right out of the gate here on a beautiful afternoon for football.
Hononegah did defer. They will kick off to Auburn. Today's Gamecast here on Clutch Sports Media 815, presented by D1 Training Rockford. Try their training facility for free by calling 815. Phillips. Boylan is the 2 seed in 4A this year. And we are getting ready for kickoff. Auburn back deep to receive. Ball kicked away from the 40-yard line. This one's going to be taken in around the 15-yard line. That's number 3, Shawnquez Simmons. Simmons still going to the outside, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds. Ball on the turf, and it looks like it's going to be recovered by Hononegah. Yes, indeed. A special teams mistake by the Auburn Knights as number 22, Preston Ross, hopped on that one. The returner was trying to get some extra yards going back towards Hononegah territory. He gets stripped, and the Hononegah Indians are going to start this game off inside Auburn territory.
Yeah, really nice job getting down and, making a play on the ball carrier, alertly hopping onto the football, gives him a first down and perfect field position, and gets him going right away here on offense.
Hononegah going to start this ball from around the 25-yard line, pitch out wide to Huey. Huey's still getting to the sideline, and he's going to be knocked down around the 21-yard line. A couple yards on that first down carry, as the Indians are just now on the 20-yard line inside the red zone for the second offensive play of the game, following that huge momentum shift by this special teams unit for the Indians. Warren back in shotgun, number 6 in motion. Warren rolling out to the right, looking downfield, throws back across the middle. He's got a receiver over there, and a great knockaway by the defensive back, number 7, William Johnson, on the pass defend, as Warren threw back across his body towards the goal line, had a receiver one-on-one, but a great play that time by the senior defensive back. Johnson plays both ways. I'm sure we'll call his name on offense here today as well.
Yeah, really nice job there. Now it becomes 3rd and 6, and we'll see if Auburn can hold tight here on defense.
Warren is going to keep this one on the keeper, and he's going to be knocked down around the line of scrimmage. Looks like Leonard Spates on the initial contact, as that's a good defensive stand by Auburn after they give the ball away. They're going to force a 4th down. We'll see what this Hononegah coaching staff wants to do.
Well, Trevor, this would be a pretty significant distance for a field goal. It's definitely makeable, but I'm playing for a first down here. See if you can pick up a touchdown to start this ball game.
4th and 6, offense on the field. Warren in shotgun. He's got the slant. This one's going to be caught by Joseph Melker. Melker fighting for the goal line, and he is in for a touchdown. The Indians jump out to an early first quarter lead, a minute and a half into the first, as they take a 6-0 lead on the touchdown reception to Joseph Melker from Cole Warren. This outstanding passing offense led behind the right arm of the Nick 10's leading quarterback, puts the Indians up early, pending the extra point. Extra point is up, and it is good for the Indians. So 7-0 is the lead after a minute and 23 seconds here in the first quarter. Zach, that's a bit of a disastrous situation for Auburn. You're playing on the road. You get the opening kickoff because Hononegah won the toss. They deferred to the second half. And if you're going to try to come out and win this game, giving the ball away like that, that's just something that you can't do, especially when you're talking about the third phase of the football game and special teams.
Yeah, just a disaster. Not how you want to start this football game. And, we don't expect many mistakes from Hononegah today. So if Auburn has any hope taking a victory here on the road once again this season. They're going to have to play mostly mistake-free football the rest of the way. Not a great start.
Yeah, this Knight squad in the game last week against Hononegah, they kept it close in the first half. Hononegah was able to pull away in the second half. And if you're the Knights, you want to get back into this game, you're probably going to need a couple of those bounces to go your way. So far, not what you want to see. So after the first drive, Hononegah with a 7-0 lead. They'll kick the ball off once more. I'm sure the coaching staff has drilled ball security into the returner's head. It's Terry Horton back deep, standing around his 11-12 yard line. Number 31 is going to kick this one away, Brock Anderson. Going to be taken in around the 14-yard line by Horton. Horton going to the left towards us up here in the broadcast booth. He's going to be dragged down on the 30-yard line. Good return that time, about 20 yards or so, as we'll see this Auburn offense, again, led by a couple of seniors in the backfield. Anthony Purifoy and Patrick DeBose Jr. are a couple of names that we're expecting to hear quite a bit here this afternoon.
Yeah, Trevor, it was fun to watch them grow from last year to now this season, being able to be senior leaders on this football team, and they've clearly really made an impact getting them into the playoffs this year. So you hope for their sake they can play a good, competitive, fun football game today.
Purifoy in the shotgun. This one's going to be a jet sweep to Moore. Moore is going to go nowhere, stood up at the line of scrimmage. Like that one might have been Logan Northrup on the initial contact, but a lot of tacklers over there for the Indians. As it's going to bring up 2nd and 10 here for the Knights.
Yeah, they're going to take their time here, huddle up, and I think that's a good strategy. We know how quickly Hononegah can score the football, so they want to make sure they've got the perfect play call on every single play.
Purifoy in an empty set, 3 receivers to the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom. Purifoy looking to the right, a throwback. That's number 9, Leonard Spates on the reception. No, he's going to drop that one. Had some space, might have pulled his eyes away from the ball for just a split second, and that's all it takes as that one drops to the turf and brings up 3rd and 10, 2 minutes here into the first quarter.
Yeah, Trevor, not a great job of pulling that one down. Like you mentioned, he had a few yards in front of him. He definitely would have had 3rd and 5, maybe more if he had a few blockers. But a big moment here for Auburn.
Once again, Purifoy in the shotgun, empty set, 3 receivers to the top. Purifoy looking right. Now he's going to throw it downfield. This one's overthrown. And he was looking for Terry Horton, the returner and receiver. Falls incomplete. He was looking for a flag. Might have been some incidental contact around the first down marker. Instead, it goes as an incompletion, and just like that, Auburn's going to be forced to give this ball back to Hononegah. Huey back at the 40-yard line. He's a dangerous return man.
He is, and no matter what happens on this play, Hononegah is going to have some great field position. And Auburn's just hoping that they don't give up a huge return here from Huey.
Looks like Patrick DeBose Jr. is going to be doing the kicking as well. Stands at his 20-yard line. Snap away. This one's going to be kicked. It's not a great one. It's going to hit the turf around the 46-yard line inside Auburn territory. Takes a bad hop for the Knights, and it's going to be down around the 43. So Hononegah is just 43 yards away from the end zone as they get the ball back following a 3 and out, and they're driving once again. 9 minutes, 40 seconds left here in the first.
Yeah, big opportunity again here for the Indians to go up 2 scores early on in the game.
Warren's going to come out in the shotgun. He's got 4 receivers, 2 on either side, a running back in the backfield as well. Again, ball on the 43-yard line. Warren takes this one. This one's going to be a quarterback keeper trying to go left, and he's going to be dropped for a half-a-yard gain. And I'll say he is going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage instead. So a good play that time. First down for the Auburn Knights defensive front as it'll bring up 2nd and 10. So offense working quickly. No huddle for the Indians as they get back in formation once again. Huey coming down here in the slot to the right. Warren in the pistol formation, number 31, Brock Anderson in motion. This one's going to be turned and handed off to Mater. Mater's got some space to the outside. He's off the left hash, and he's still going. Breaks out of a tackle down to the 10-yard line, and he's going to be dragged down around the 5-yard line. A big-time run by Grayson Mater, the senior running back, gets the Indians right back into the red zone as they look to take control of this game early.
Yeah, and they're hurrying up.
Yes, they are. Indians going quickly. No huddle as this one's going to be handed off once again to Mater. Mater's going to be dragged down. Number 71, Jabari Woods on the tackle. Good play that time on the defensive front after giving up a big run. 2nd and goal from around the 6-yard line. As this Indian offense looking over to the coaching staff, trying to get the play call in. They're trying to go up 2 touchdowns here early in the first. Looks like Mater's in the backfield with Warren. Mater off his left hip, Huey in motion. This one's going to be snapped, and it's going to be swung out wide to Huey. Huey's got some space, and he is in for a touchdown. 2 of them on the board here for the Indians just 3.5 minutes into the ball game as they have come out hot here today on this afternoon. First round of the playoffs. They are looking lethal. Seniors making an impact here today.
Yeah, Trevor, they are not messing around. They want to get this one out of hand early. Make sure they're all rested for their week 2 matchup. And we've seen a lot of people get involved already.
Extra point is up and good. Yeah, speaking of, the winner of this game will play the winner of Willowbrook or Yorkville next week. You know, if Hononegah wins again, they'll be right back here. They love nothing more as one of the top seeds in the 7A playoffs this season. Again, the number 2 seed following an undefeated season, a conference championship, really looking to make a deep run after a couple of disappointments. And Zach, you know, we didn't really get into it, but this team with all their experience and their depth and some of their seniority, looks like they've got a real shot at going down, you know, potentially working into the late November weeks, and you know, I think they've got a real shot at making the quarters, if not above and beyond.
Yeah, we'll see how far they go. A lot of good teams at this 7A level, but Hononegah is right up there at the top with them. And you know, that's the cool thing about the playoffs. You get to measure yourself against some teams you don't normally play against. And Hononegah looks like they've put a lot of the pieces together this season.
This one's going to be kicked off once again. It's like Horton's back deep, and this one's going to be out of the end zone and a touchback for the Indians as Auburn's going to take over their 2nd offensive possession, already down 2 scores here in the first quarter. Now's the time that you got to lead on some of that senior leadership. We know they've got a lot of them. Might be one of those games where you're going to have to rely on the senior quarterback, Anthony Purifoy, as this passing game was able to make a couple of plays last week against the Indians. They might need to see a little bit more of that here this afternoon. Auburn ready to go to work this time. They are going to have 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation. Now a couple of audibles as the receivers now shift. 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom, 1 running back here for Purifoy. This one's going to be on the turf, taken by the running back. A good pickup by Arlen Moore to save a turnover, but he's going to be dropped in the backfield. A couple of guys that time. Looks like 44, Gabriel Cole, had the initial contact. And a negative play, but could have been worse, as a nice play by the senior running back Moore, able to pick that one up off the turf and save another turnover here in the first quarter.
Yeah, right now, Trevor, it just doesn't feel like this Auburn team is locked in on the details, right? That's what it's going to take to beat a good team like this. And I don't know if it's a lack of focus. Maybe they're not used to playing on Saturdays, but not much is going right now for the Auburn Knights.
3 receivers once again. Number 5 in motion, Terry Horton. Now stops. This one's going to be handed off to Moore. Moore trying to go to the outside, and he is thrown back by Curtis Smith, number 27. A running back and a linebacker making a play off the edge, drops him for a loss, and it's going to be 3rd and long deep inside their own territory for the Knights, as they have not been able to get anything going here on offense early.
Yeah, it's time to try something a little bit different here. I like the idea on the little swing pass earlier, maybe get a screen going, something to slow down this pass rush of Hononegah.
A very tough defense for these Indians, as they were one of the best in the conference, averaging just under 12 points allowed per game on the year. As Purefoy is going to come out in shotgun once again. He takes this one rolling off to the right, sprint right, looking downfield, nothing open, and he's going to be dragged down for a sack. Curtis Smith again gets him, as he is dropped for a couple of yard loss on that play. And this Hononegah defense has been really chomping at the bit following a interesting first half last week. Today, here this Saturday afternoon, they have really come out with some energy as they force their second consecutive 3-and-out from this Auburn Knight offense.
Yeah, and again, we're going to see great field position for Hononegah, threatening to make it a 3-score game before we're halfway through the first quarter.
DeBose is going to be punting from his goal line. Huey standing around his 40-yard line. This one's a little bit better. It's going to hit the turf just inside the 30. Now rolls a couple of yards, and it'll be down around the 31-yard line. So again, 3 offensive possessions, 3 fantastic starting field positions for this Indian offense. As, Zach, we are looking at a Hononegah squad, like you mentioned, might be able to go up 3 scores here halfway through the first quarter, 6:02 on the clock.
And Hononegah, the nice thing for them, they don't have to rely on just one guy to do it. They've got a lot of options. They could give the ball up to their running back, swing it out wide. You've got Huey. You could throw the ball in the air towards Melcher. A lot of options.
Warren into the shotgun. He's got Poppy off his left hip. Everybody in tight. Number 6, Calvin Caldwell in motion. This one's going to be handed off to Huey. Huey's got some space up the middle. He will not be touched on. Another touchdown for the Hononegah Indians. His second of the ball game, as they go up 3 scores 6 minutes into this first quarter, and they are just putting the beat down on this Auburn Knight squad so far in this ball game.
Well, Trevor, it's clearly obvious that these 2 football teams are in different tiers from each other, and Hononegah wasting no time at all. One of the things that's really important to their program and their success is the depth that they've got. Here you can see the sideline is full, and they'll be looking to get into the bench a little bit later on. So if you have a huge lead, that's going to be a tremendous advantage going forward.
Extra point was up and good for the Indians, so 21-0 is the score. 5 minutes 55 on the clock. Zach, you mentioned it, a couple different tiers for these squads, in 2 different positions. Both of these teams are in the playoffs, of course. Auburn, we mentioned, getting back here for the first time since 2019. They have a second-year head coach. Of course, this game has not started off great. They've got plenty of time to get back into it, but just a playoff appearance so far into your coaching tenure in year 2 in the Nick 10 is impressive in its own right. For Hononegah, we've mentioned they've had some ups and downs in the playoffs. This is a year where they look to capitalize on the number of seniors and their depth that they have planned, trying to make a deep run in the postseason. Either way, regardless of what happens today and throughout the rest of the season, successful seasons on both sides for these Nick 10 schools, as Hononegah lining this one up to kick off for the 3rd time already here in this ball game. This one's going to be drilled back, and this one's going to go out of bounds, so good field position for Auburn. That's the 4th kickoff for the Indians, but good field position for the first time here today for the Auburn Knights. It's going to be spotted at the 35 here as Auburn tries to get back in this ball game. Zach, it's early. We don't want to talk about things getting out of hand too quickly, but if you're the Knights, you would love nothing more than to march down and put up some points right here on this drive.
Well, it kind of feels like it's now or never, right? I mean, there is plenty of time on the clock, yes, but Auburn has not shown any indication that they're going to be competitive in this ball game just yet. So you really want to build some confidence by making some forward progress on this drive.
This one's going to be handed off to Patrick DeBose Jr. DeBose has got a couple of yards on that first down carry, a 2 or 3 on the carry for one of the top 5 rushers in the Nick 10, one of 4 players in the conference to go over 600 yards. It's definitely more of a bruiser back, as he is the guy that you can give up the middle, watch him fall forward for a couple of yards.
And one of the things about the Nick 10 conference is some of the teams you can really beat up on, up the middle through their defensive line. Hononegah is not one of those squads. They're really strong up front.
As this one's going to be kept by Purifoy to the Auburn sideline. A nice play design that time. Able to pick up 2.5 yards, so it'll be 3 and a long 5 here for the Knights as the ball spotted just outside the 40-yard line. 45 is the marker as the Knights try to pick up these 6 yards. They get a first down. Zach, you might never know. This could be 4-down territory this early in the ball game.
I think it might be. You know, they've punted to this area of the field a few times already. We'll see if they can pick up the first.
This one's going to be taken by Dubose. Dubose got some space towards the middle, and he picks up a good chunky yardage, 8 or 9 yards on that 3rd down and 6. Puts him just a couple of yards shy of the 50, but a first down here for the Knights, their first of the ball game, as now they are working with that good field position. Auburn huddling up but going quickly. Looks like there's going to be 3 receivers to the top. DeBose once again off the left hip of Purifoy. Purifoy in shotgun. This one's going to be handed off to DuBose. Loses his feet as looks like a big chunk of turf flew up from his right cleat as he goes down for a yard loss. And it'll bring up 2nd and 11. Zach, that middle of the field, you know, it's very good condition here, you know, this late in the season following a number of games, but the middle of the field near the big H, that's the worst for the interior line play and some of those middle runs. Purifoy in shotgun once again, 3 receivers to the top. This one's going to be thrown back to Spates. Spates trying to get to the outside, makes one man miss, makes another. Nice shifty moves that time by the senior receiver as he's able to pick up 5 yards on that 2nd down. It's going to bring him another 3rd and 5.
And like you mentioned, the turf flying up, you know, on that Hononegah H out there. Last week, these 2 squads played at Wyeth Stadium, and that's, of course, a fully turfed field. So a little bit of difference on the field conditions, and you'll have to make the according adjustments.
3 receivers in formation. Number 5, Horton in motion. This one's going to be handed off up the middle once again to DuBose. He's going to get 2 yards on that carry, but this interior defensive line for Hononegah showing their prowess once again. It's one of the best rush defenses in the NIC 10 and in the entire area. It's going to bring up a 4th and short here early in the ball game. Ball spotted at the 45. Looks like the 40 is the 42 is the yard to gain, so 4th and 3 here for the Knights as Hononegah's crowd making plenty of noise here, trying to cause some disruptions here for this Knight offense. 4 receivers in formation. Purifoy, hard count. They're not going to call him offsides. Looks like the far defensive end for Hononegah jumped, but able to get back. This one's going to be snapped and thrown out wide to Horton. Horton is going to be dragged down behind the line of scrimmage. A great play that time by the Hononegah defensive back as he drags him for a stop. It's going to be a turnover on downs. Willard Roberts on the defense that time forces a turnover on downs, and Hononegah is going to take over just a couple of yards shy of the 50 once again. So turnover on downs by the Auburn Knights. Hononegah takes over at the 47-yard line as they lead by 3 scores here in the first quarter. Just under 3 minutes to go here in the first. Warren in the pistol. This one's going to be taken, and it's going to be kept by Warren. Warren's got some space off the left sideline, still going. Trying to get a couple of men to block for him, and he will. He's in for 6 again. Another touchdown here for the Indians as they have their 4th of the first quarter, and they are really putting up points here today as they lead 27-0 over Auburn with the extra point still to come.
Well, Trevor, not how the folks on the Rockford Auburn sideline were hoping this one would go. And it's really been clear the difference in levels between these 2 teams. Just not been competitive at all so far.
Extra point is up, and this one's going to be no good. Not sure if it was blocked. A high kick either way as Hononegah leads 27-0 here in the first quarter. 2 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock as the Indians are really pushing forward here this first round of the playoffs. And Zach, you mentioned it earlier, again, not out of the question that Auburn could get back into this ball game if they get a couple of lucky bounces, but they're going to have to find something here in the first quarter. You go down early. This is the first time you've played this early on a Saturday in quite some time. If they're sleepwalking through this first quarter, tough to tell. The mentality of football teams is always a topic of debate. But the Knights really got to get back into this one. You got to really build on it. You got to have some of your seniors really lead. You got to have some of your juniors step up and make a couple plays here throughout the rest of the ball game. Motter spotting the ball at the 40. He kick off once again. Terry Horton back deep to return for Auburn, standing at the 10-yard line. And score is 27-0 in favor of Hononegah. As this one's going to be kicked off. Line drive kick, and it's going to go out of bounds once again. Second straight kickoff out of bounds here for Hononegah, as Auburn will start with good field position. Ball is going to be at the 35-yard line. Zach, one thing to consider here for Hononegah, again, still plenty of game left. 2 minutes, 40 seconds in the first quarter and 3 more quarters to go. But you would love it if you can really get a couple more scores, maybe a running clock, but you get some of these backups in, you don't have to show your full hand. So when you go up against some teams later in the playoffs, they might not have everything on tape as to what your offensive defense wants to do.
Well, that's a major consideration, you know what I mean? If you don't really have to go very far into your game plan, if you can run the basics and still dominate like this, then you don't have to get too creative or tricky.
Purifoy's got some pressure on the pass. He's going to throw this one out of bounds. Good play that time by Purifoy to escape the pressure as he chucks that one out of bounds. Incomplete, but could have been a sack. Instead, it'll bring up 2nd and 10 on the incompletion.
Yeah, a lot of pressure that time. Flushed Purifoy out of the pocket and didn't really have anywhere to go. So threw it downfield, out of bounds.
Auburn huddling up. Ball spotted on the 35-yard line. They choose to keep it at the far hash. 4 receivers out in formation. Seanquez Simmons is the one on the far side. This one's going to be handed off to Moore on the jet sweep, and great defensive play by the defensive backs of Hononegah as they're able to force him to the sideline, out of bounds, back around the original line of scrimmage. Might have gained a half a yard on that one, but it's going to bring up 3rd and 10 as we wind down here in this first quarter. 2 minutes, 15 on the clock. Third and a long 9 here for the Knights. Purifoy in the shotgun again. 4 receivers, 2 to either side. More Horton in motion. Purifoy looking to pass. He's got some pressure behind him. He's going to throw this one downfield and just a little bit too far towards the boundary. Seanquez Simmons was able to break free of the coverage by Christian Lobato. But that one just a little bit too far out of bounds for the feet to be able to be dragged, and it goes as an incompletion. And Auburn's going to be forced to punt this ball away once again here in the first quarter.
Well, Trevor, not much going right for the Knights so far. One thing that is really working for Hononegah is, getting up, getting pressure, and they don't really need much help over the top from the secondary. And so Auburn isn't able to get anything done up the middle.
Okay, we got a fake punt. This one's going to be thrown back, and it's going to be caught by number 24. That is Patrick DeBose Jr., but he is not going to be across the line of scrimmage. We do have a flag, a fake punt. He caught that one at like 2 or 3 yards in front of the first down marker. We'll see what the call is. Looks like we're going to have an illegal man downfield. The fake punt took just a little bit too much time, and looks like Hononegah will decline as they were not able to pick up the yardage for a first down. So the punt fake does not work, and Hononegah is going to take over inside Auburn territory once again here in the first quarter as they look to extend their lead even further, leading 27-0 with with 1 minute 42 on the clock here in the first.
Well, I think the aggressiveness there was a necessity, but I don't know about the game plan there. I think you'd like your quarterback throwing the ball downfield if you want to try to pick something like that up.
First timeout of the half by Auburn, and that gives us a great opportunity to tell you that today's game cap. Give Brian a call at 815-398-2552 for all your insurance needs, as well as Lars Plumbing. Lars Plumbing has been serving the Rockford area since 2017. Give John a call at 378-8686. So after the timeout, Zach, Hononegah is going to come back on offense ball at the 38-yard line, and man, it would be a real boon if you can get up by 5 scores here in the first quarter, and you inch ever closer to that running clock. Ball whistled, ready to play. Warren in the shotgun, number 6 in motion, Cowell. This one's going to be handed off up the middle. Looks like that is Poppy. Poppy's still driving the pile. Just great offensive play here by the line and the running back. They're going to say he's 2 yards, maybe a yard shy of the first down marker. But the senior running back really able to keep his feet and keep driving. A 9-yard run there, that time on first down, 2nd and 1.
And it's just too easy to pick up yards right now. Nothing has worked for the Auburn Knights. They've got to find a way to do something aggressive here.
Warren's going to take this one. He's going to swing it out wide to Huey. Huey's got some space off the left sideline, and he is going to get in again. 3 touchdowns for the two-way player for the Hononegah Indians, as he has been electric here this afternoon, as Hononegah takes a 5-touchdown lead, 33-0. As they do confirm the call, and yes, indeed, 33-0 is the score following the 3rd touchdown of the first quarter, Zach, for Isaiah Huey. Boy, we know him as one of the best players in the conference. I'm not sure if even the Hononegah coaching staff saw this one coming here today.
Well, your game plan has worked. It doesn't happen often where you throw it up on the whiteboard and everything goes exactly the way you planned. Haven't had to make many adjustments, and it's just kind of a cakewalk from here. It's a huge deficit, and all you have to do is play simple and smart and get ready for week 2.
That was a great play as well by Cole Warren. It looked like a bit of an option play. He pulled the ball out of the running backs. Lucas Poppy, who was back in the backfield and then was able to swing it out to his playmaker on the outside, Isaiah Huey. And it looks like we have a couple of penalties here on the extra point attempt, as it's going to be an offsides by Auburn. 2 of them, as the Hononegah Indians are going to send out their offense as they try to put 2 points up on the board here.
Well, Trevor, they got the jumbo package out there to go for this 2-point conversion. Michael Florence, normally playing nose tackle, is out there on the offensive side of the ball.
Warren's in shotgun. This one's going to be handed off to Motter, and he is going to get in. So 35-0 here in the first quarter, as Grayson Motter scores the 2-point conversion. 55.5 left on the clock here in this first quarter, and Hononegah has just had it here today, as they lead by a score of 35-0. Yes, you heard me right, 35-0 here in the first quarter. Zach, you mentioned it, obviously plenty of time left. We've seen some comebacks before at the college level, at the professional level. 35 points in high school, that's just about as insurmountable as it can be.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see much different coming from the rest of this ball game. Just a minute left here in the first quarter, as you mentioned. I think we're going to see a lot of the same. You'd hope for a more competitive game here, but sometimes in the first round of the playoffs, there's just too big of a difference between the 2 levels.
Yeah, definitely an interesting swing from last week. Of course, Hononegah was able to take down Auburn by 28 points, 40-12. But, I'm not really sure that we could have seen this one coming, as here at the NIC 10 in the 7A level, I don't really see this level of blowout this early in ball games. Ball is going to be kicked away, and it's going to be taken in by Horton around the 10-yard line. Horton going to the right, and now he's going to be tackled around the 25-yard line. Good coverage on the kick that time. Looks like Camden Rodriguez had first contact for Hononegah, as the Auburn Knights will come out for another offensive possession. Zach, they've crossed midfield just once. You'd love to do that here on this drive. If nothing else, you're definitely going to have to put up some points here in today's ball game going into next year, build some momentum.
Yeah, you don't want to leave. I mean, it's going to be a loss, most likely. And everybody's season ends in a loss except for one squad per class. But you don't want to leave it like this. You want to go out fighting, and hopefully they can give themselves a little bit of a chance and get some things going for them.
Purifoy on the option play is going to be dropped for a yard loss, that time on first down. 2nd and 11 upcoming here for the Knights. Have at least one more play, perhaps a couple, as there is 35 seconds left on the clock here in the first quarter. Auburn huddling up around their own 20-yard line. Ball on the 26, 2nd and 11. They've got to get to the 35 for a first down. Purifoy in shotgun. He's got empty set. He's dropped back, 3-step drop. This one's going to be over the middle, and it's going to be intercepted by Hononegah. Number 5, Poppy on the interception, and he is going to be knocked down around the 20-yard line. Another turnover here for Hononegah as they start yet another possession deep inside Auburn territory. And for the first time today, the defense gets their hands on the ball. And just like that, it's Hononegah inside the red zone once again here in the first quarter.
Well, Trevor, I'd love to have the Hononegah defense and special teams for my fantasy team this week. Not going to put up or allow many points, and they've already gotten a fumble and an interception. Everything working right for him today.
Warren in shotgun. He's looking off to his left. This one's going to be caught by Cole Schmall. No, they're going to say he caught it and fumbled it. And just like that, the ball goes right back to Auburn. Zach, it looked like that one was not a catch. They ruled that he had both hands on it, took a couple of steps, was knocked out of his hands, and Auburn takes over. Turnovers on back-to-back plays here at the back end of the first quarter. About a second or two left on the clock.
Yeah, Auburn will have one more snap here in the first quarter, then we'll flip sides of the field. But, a little bit of momentum shift. Break goes your way. Maybe they can put together a sustained drive headed the other direction.
Purifoy coming out. Once again, they are going in an empty set. 4 receivers, 1 tight end on the right side of the formation. Trips to the bottom. Purifoy takes the snap, drops back, looking to scramble. He's going to throw this one deep to Horton. Horton's got it at around the 35-yard line. A nice pitch and catch from senior to senior as Horton's going to be knocked down around the 41-yard line. Give him about 26, 27 yards on that reception, and that brings us to the end of the first quarter. And welcome back. Here started the second quarter. Hononegah on top of Auburn 35-0. As we remind you that today's game is brought to you by D1 Training Rockford. Try their training facility for free by calling 815-569-5630. First good offensive play of the game to end that first quarter as Purifoy is going to swing this one out once again to Horton. Horton trying to make a man miss. He does. Breaks one tackle, and he's going to be knocked down around the 50. 2 successful passing plays to the senior receiver, Terry Horton. as they are now at midfield, 2nd and 1 upcoming. They've got to get to the 49 inside Hononegah territory for a first down. Zach, looks like Auburn's got a little bit going here as we start the second quarter.
Yeah, it's good to see a little bit of momentum. This seems like the whole game is played on the Hononegah or the Auburn side of the field, no matter who's had the ball. And it's time to break out across the 50.
Purifoy in the shotgun 5 wide receivers. Once again, this one's going to be taken by Horton. Horton's got plenty of space to the outside. He's going to get by Huey. Horton down the sideline. He's going to be untouched into the end zone. Touchdown for the Auburn Knights as Terry Horton takes it 51 yards into the end zone as Auburn gets on the board here to start the second quarter, as that brings the score to 35-6. Extra point upcoming. Zach Horton's been the guy that we've called plenty of times. You know, he had that mistake to open up the ball game, give the ball to Hononegah on special teams, but at least towards the back half of the first quarter and to start this second, he has made a couple of plays. Looks like that's going to be a guy that they're going to need if they're going to want to make this game look a little bit more respectable.
Yeah, and Trevor, you know, that's the part of the game plan that they really need to execute is those short passes, get past the pressure just a little bit, and find a way to get into some open space.
Extra point is not good. That one was drilled on the ground by Noah Manduano as the left-footed kicker could not get that one in the air. Again, Zach, we mentioned that a little bit earlier in the ball game. You know, this is a grass field as opposed to what Auburn's used to playing on. Not sure if that contributed, but as it stands, Auburn gets on the board finally here to start the second quarter. They still trail 35-6. As Hononegah is going to come back out. We'll see their special teams return unit for the first time here today. It's been one of the best in the NIC 10, bringing back kicks.
Yeah, and Huey's a big part of that. He's always a great playmaker with the ball in his hands, plays both ways. And so, you know, he returns punts, kicks, plays defensive back. He's all over the field. We'll see if this kick is a little bit better than the last one, or if Auburn keeps it on the ground, tries a little squib or onside to shake things up.
Huey was the leading receiver in the conference this season, both yards and touchdowns. As ball is at the 40-yard line here for Auburn. This one's going to be kicked on the ground, and it's going to be taken around the 45-yard line. Looks like that's Tripper Diskey as he's going to be knocked down towards the 43-yard line. Excuse me, that was number 48, Braden Lane, as Hononegah is going to start off with great field position. And Zach feels like I'm just repeating myself, as I don't think they've had one offensive possession here that has not started at least 10 yards within midfield here today. So ball on the 43-yard line here for Hononegah. They have scored a touchdown every time they've touched the ball, except for last time out when they gave the ball away on a fumble. Warren in the pistol. This one's going to be handed off behind Warren, and looks like this is number 36, Eston Fichter, on the carry. Good burst of speed off the left tackle as he gets 13 yards on that carry. Across midfield and all the way out to the 43-yard line inside Auburn territory. Hononegah still working quickly. They do not want to slow down things here in the first half as Warren comes out in the pistol formation. 3 receivers. This one's going to be handed off once again to Fichter. Fichter up the middle this time. Keeps the leg drive going, and a nice run that time on first down. 5 yards on the carry. He's just outside the 35. Brings up 2nd and 5 here for the Indians. 3 receivers in formation. Once again, they have used that formation every play this drive so far. Warren takes the ball. He's rolling out to the right, looking downfield. He's targeting Huey. Huey's wide open. He catches it on the 10, and he walks in for another touchdown. Isaiah Huey, give him 4 on the afternoon in this first half, as Hononegah Indians are up 41-6 here at the start of the second quarter, behind the strength of this explosive offense led by the best receiver in the NIC 10. As boy howdy, he has been unbelievable here today.
Yeah, great job all around from this Hononegah team. Auburn's got to try something new and different if they want some different results.
Extra point upcoming. This one is going to be kicked and through the uprights as Hononegah takes a 42-6 lead here. 10 minutes, 20 seconds to go here in the second quarter as Hononegah has put up 6 touchdowns already in just about 14 minutes of action, which is truly unbelievable if you think about it. You know, they're on pace. You know, obviously they're going to slow things down, I'm sure, but they're on pace to blitz past that 100-point mark if things keep up the way they have been so far here today.
Yeah, Trevor, I think at some point here we're going to see the bench just kind of try to hold on to that lead and not necessarily run the score up as high as you can today. There's no reason to do that. You want to take your playoff victory and head into next week. And if you can get some of these younger players plenty of time on the field and some playoff snaps, I think that benefits your program big time going forward.
Again, the number 2 seeded Indians this season looking to make a deep run in the Class 7A IHSA playoffs. If things go like they have here today, I'm sure we might even see them in normal for that championship game towards the end of November. This one's going to be taken in around the 5 by number 5, Terry Horton. Horton's got a burst of speed off the left hash, and he's going to be out to the 22-yard line. Ran about 40 yards on that one for a 20-yard return as he was going diagonal across the field. So Auburn's going to be behind the 25. They'll spot it around the 22 as the Auburn Knights come out for another possession. They put up a touchdown for the first time last time out behind the receiving abilities of Terry Horton. We'll see if the Knights can do it here on their next drive.
Well, I am so sorry about the technical difficulties here. We do have everything rectified.
Purifoy in a shotgun, 4 receivers, 3 to the bottom of the formation, 1 tight end as well for the senior quarterback. Purifoy, 3-step drop in formation, and he is almost sacked, breaks away, and now scrambles up the middle as he's going to be tackled by Curtis Smith on the slide, as they're going to say he gained about 6 yards on that one out to the 30, and to bring up 2nd and 4 here for the Knights. So a nice scramble that time by the senior quarterback. They'll say 2nd and 4 officially. Ball on the 30-yard line here for Auburn. Once again, empty set for Auburn, almost necessitated here at this stage of the game. They have pretty much abandoned the running game outside of some jet sweeps. Speaking of, this one is going to be, it's going to be on the turf. I thought Purifoy had that one and handed it off. It looks like instead the center and quarterback might have had a bit of miscommunication as that one only went about a yard behind the center. Purifoy making a heady move to jump on that ball. They'll say he got it around the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 3rd and 4. But almost another fumble here by this Auburn offense.
Yeah, that one, I don't know. I don't know how he saw it through the pile and was able to find possession of it again, but giving his chance a team to pick up this 3rd down.
Purifoy is going to swing this one out to Horton. Horton makes a couple of men miss. He has got some shifty moves here today as he was almost tackled for a 4th down, but was able to break out of the tackle. Scampers upfield for an 8-yard gain on 3rd and 4, so a 1st down once again to Terry Horton, as he has been the key guy here on offense, really the only guy in the receiving corps that has made plays here today.
And they got to keep feeding him the ball. He's clearly figuring out different ways to get down the field. So hopefully he can keep that up for the Knights.
Purifoy in shotgun, pump fakes. Now he's going to go over the middle, and this one's going to be hauled in. A great catch on the turf. This one is going to be trying to get a number for you here. It looks like that's number 6, Arlen Moore. First time we've called his name in the passing game here today. But a good pump fake and a slant across the middle as Moore picks up a 1st down, ball at midfield. Another 1st down for Auburn as they go quickly. No huddle this time. Empty set once again. 4 receivers, 3 to the bottom here for Auburn, as they have done so often here today. This one's going to be thrown out wide to Horton, and that one too tall. Closest man in the area was Eston Fichter. But Horton really didn't have a chance at that one. That one was a couple of yards above Horton as it falls incomplete. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10, 8 minutes, 5 seconds on the clock here in the second quarter. Auburn huddling up here as the clock stops on the incomplete pass. Purefoy once again standing in the shotgun formation again. Ball at the 50-yard line. 4 receivers in formation, Moore in motion. This one's going to be handed off on the jet sweep to Arlen Moore. Moore trying to get to the sideline. He does, but only 2 or 3 yards on that carry. Looks like Lucas Poppy and Christian Lobato both contacted him towards the sideline. So 3rd and 8 here for Auburn as they try to pick up a first down or at least a couple of yards. So I think this might be 4-down territory once again, Zach.
Yeah, at this point you got nothing to lose, right? You're probably going to lose this game anyway, but finding a way to put up points any way possible is going to be important.
Purefoy in formation, number 3, Shonquez Simmons in motion. This one's going to be handed off to Simmons on the jet sweep. Nothing doing that time. Good defense up front for Hononegah. It's like Gentry Grant might have had the tackle that time. Either way, good defense by this Indian squad as it's going to bring up 4th and 9. As once again, Auburn going to go for it again. Last time they had a 4th down. They tried a fake punt. This time, no gimmicks. They are keeping their offense out there.
And Trevor, we've seen a great job by this Hononegah defense of not allowing ball carriers to get to the edge. Another great example there.
Purefoy in a shotgun. This one rolling off to the left. He is going to be sacked in the backfield. Calvin Cowell gets him behind the line of scrimmage. He is dropped for a 5-yard loss as this Hononegah defense stands as the Indians take over. Yeah, that sack was Andre Pilgrim, a number 8, the senior defensive end. And Hononegah will take over once again inside Auburn territory.
Yeah, great upfield push that time by the defensive line. Just not giving any time for Auburn to look downfield for a receiver.
So we're going to have a timeout on the field. Auburn calls their 2nd of the half, which gives us a great opportunity to remind you that today's game is brought to you by D1 Training Rockford. Try their training facility for free by calling 815-569-5630. So, Zach, as we wrap up the end of football season here, we still have plenty of rounds left to go. We're hoping that some of the area teams can make a couple of deep pushes in the playoffs. Of course, one of these teams will move on. Looks like that's going to be Hononegah. We'd expect Boylan to have a great shot at going a fairly deep distance here this year. Playing in 4A, they are the number 2 seed. Couldn't quite pull out a conference championship tie with Hononegah. They played them the toughest. They look like they might be a very tough out. But we've got some exciting photographers down on the field. We'll be sure to cover some area teams throughout the remainder of the playoffs. Warren's going to take this one, and he's going to hand this one off to Mater. Mater gets some space to the outside off left tackle as he's going to get 2 or 3 yards on that first down carry. Brings up 2nd and 8 here for the Indians.
Yep, and we'll see that rotation of running backs. Want to keep everybody fresh. But we've seen these Indians do that all season long, having a couple guys in the game at all times ready to receive a handoff.
Warren takes a snap once again. This one's going to be handed to Mater. Mater's got some space up the middle. He's got one man to beat, and he is going to get in for 6. Once again, touchdown Hononegah. Grayson Mater takes the distance as Hononegah puts up yet another touchdown here in the first half. They have just been outstanding. Their 7th of the half, and still more than 6 minutes left to go here in this second quarter, as they've done it in both phases, through the air and on the ground. Again, Grayson Mater with a big-time run for a 6. Extra point still to come here.
Yeah, 40-yard run there. Again, That's probably the 6th time they've gone for more than 30 yards today. Just not able to be slowed down at all by this Knights defense.
Extra point is up, and it is good. So 49-6 is the lead here at home for Hononegah in this round 1 of the 7A playoffs. As again, this Hononegah squad, the number 2 seed in this class this season, making a strong push as to why they should be one of the favorites heading into November and in the Illinois playoffs. One other team that we did not mention, but Belvedere North also were able to win their game last night against Edmondson, a team that Harlem took down last year in week 1 of the playoffs. Zach, you know, we were on site for Harlem's game last season as they won 1, 2, and then 3 games in the playoff before running up to the eventual runners-up. And, you know, getting that deep into the playoffs for the Nick 10 conference is really a boon. You know, we've had a couple of state champions here in the area over the years. And, you know, we've got two teams, this Hononegah squad and Boylan. You know, they've got to be considered a couple of the favorites to go the distance in their respective brackets. Both 2 seeds, one in 7A, one in 4A. And you never know if Belvedere North can also make some noise. This one is going to be taken in towards the 15-yard line. Looks like that's number 6, Arlen Moore, as he's going to be stopped at the 25-yard line following a 10-yard return for the senior running back.
And Trevor, like you mentioned, you know, you never know what the playoffs holds. One thing that could benefit or hurt a team on a given week is totally their matchup. Who are they playing against? Does their game style match up well with whoever's on the other side of the field, right? So Belvedere North, they do what they do really, really well. They're not necessarily going to blow your doors off with a lot of points, but they're going to play solid defense, ball control, and find a way to get it down the field. You know, they could run into a couple good matchups. They could go really far as well.
Purefoy in shotgun. This one's going to be thrown out wide to Horton. Horton makes a man miss. Great stiff arm that time. Eston Fichter had him on the contact, but Horton able to use that left arm and shove him off as he picks up 6 yards on that first down reception. Looks like we have an update from Boylan. Looks like the game is going to be delayed about a half hour. It was delayed a half hour due to some transportation issues from Chicago Phillips, but Boylan is up 9-0 in the first quarter over at Boylan High School, Titan Stadium. Saw them play a couple of great games here on Clutch Sports 815 this year. If you're interested in seeing what happened in those, you can always find the replay on our YouTube channel. Purefoy takes a shotgun. He's going to roll out, and he's going to pick up a couple yards on that scramble, as it's going to bring up 3rd and short. Good heady run by the senior quarterback to pick up 3 yards and start him with a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of running out of Purefoy yet today. He really hasn't had the opportunity. The pass rush from Hononegah has been great at not just getting up the field, but also keeping him in the pocket and limiting his options on the ground.
Auburn in the huddle this time as the clock stops for the out-of-bounds play. 6:07 on the clock here in the second quarter. A lot of scoring so far today. Arlen Moore takes the handoff on the jet sweep. Now reverses Fields, and he is going to get the first down. A great play that time by Arlen Moore. Was moving right to left in motion on offense. Was going to be stopped for a loss. Instead, reversed field, got a couple of blocks from the wide receivers to the outside, and able to pick up a first down across the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 on the 41.
Yeah, really great job there, not giving up on the play, finding a way to the outside, picking up just enough to move the chains.
Ball on the 41, 1st and 10, upcoming here for Auburn. 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation. This one's going to be pump faked and thrown back to Dubose. Dubose trying to get some space, but good secondary effort from this Hononegah defense as they drag him down for a 1-yard loss on the play action waggle, and then they threw back to him on the running back screen. Doesn't work that time. Too much speed from Hononegah as they drop him for a loss. Ball just about a half yard shy of the 40-yard line. 2nd and a long 11 here for Auburn as they try to pull back within that threshold for a running clock in the second half. 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation here for Auburn. DuBose off the right hip of Purifoy. Purifoy takes the snap, 3-step drop. He's going to go over the middle. This one's going to be hauled in by Arlen Moore. Moore a couple yards shy of the first down marker, but a good pitch and catch. They'll spot him around the 48-yard line. So it's going to bring up 3rd and short here for Auburn. 3rd and 3.
Well, Trevor, nice job by Moore there to hang on to that football. He took a good hit over the middle. But Purifoy did a good job protecting him, not leading him into the hit, but rather letting him stop in the middle of the field and bracing himself. It was a good job.
3rd and 3 here for the Auburn Knights. 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation. This one's going to be handed off to DuBose up the middle. DuBose trying to keep his legs. He will not get enough for a first down. He's out to the 50, so a yard and a half on the carry. But it'll be 4th and 1 here for Auburn. Once again, they'll keep the offense on the field, try to pick up this first down. As now they move the ball back another half yard, so 4th and 2 for the Knights.
They're going to take their time here, trying to draw up a play, but the crowd for Hononegah trying to fire up that defense to get a big stop.
Purifoy in formation as he's trying to get a hard count here. No flag on the far side, and looks like we're going to have a timeout from Auburn. As might have been just trying to get the offsides call on the hard count. They've had a couple of those, Zach, but the Hononegah defense has stayed true. Well, we have a timeout. It's a great time to remind you that today's game is brought to you by D1 Training Rockford. Try their training facility for free by calling 815-569-5630. Today's game also made possible in part thanks to Brian Falk State Farm. Give Brian a call at 815-398-2552 for all your insurance needs, as well as Lars Plumbing. Lars Plumbing has been serving the Rockford area since 2017. Give John a call at 815-378-8686. After the timeout, the 3rd of the half for Auburn. 4th and a long 1 officially, as the ball is at the 49.5-yard line. They've got to get to the 49-yard line across midfield. 3 receivers to the bottom. Horton in motion. This one's going to be handed off to DuBose. He does not have any room up the middle as the defense stands true once again. Andre Pilgrim had him first. 2nd time that he has been the catalyst for a 4th down turnover on downs, as Hononegah is going to take over once again on the Auburn side of the field, with a chance to put up 50 points here in the first half in round 1 of the playoffs.
Well, it's just been success after success for this Indians squad. You know, not entirely surprising that they've got such a big lead, but just a little disappointed that Auburn hasn't been able to make a few more plays here in this first half.
Warren in shotgun hands this one off to Poppy. Poppy is going to be dragged for a loss that time by the Auburn Knights defensive line, as looks like Arlen Moore was in on that tackle. So 2nd and 13 upcoming here for Hononegah. They are taking some time, looking over to the sideline. As now the play call is in here for Hononegah. They're still going with 4 receivers for Cole Warren and this Hononegah offense. Warren in the pistol, number 22 in motion, Preston Ross. Warren gets the snap, 1-step drop, pulls it down, now scrambling to the right. This one's going to be hauled in by Ross towards the far sideline. Makes a man miss. He's still going down the sideline, trying to pick up a block, and he is going to get all the way down to around the 10-yard line. A great play that time towards the outside by the senior two-way player, Preston Ross. Great play as well by Warren, able to shake off a tackler, throw it over to his playmaker. Ross did the rest, and he gets down inside the red zone once again here for Hononegah. Warren in formation. 4 receivers, 2 to either side here for Hononegah. This one's going to be handed off in motion. That is Cowell. Cowell breaks out of the tackle, still going off to the right side, and he is going to turn a negative into a positive as he was contacted almost immediately on that jet sweep, able to spin out of a tackle and instead picks up 6 yards for a positive gain, as we have a player down towards the Auburn sideline. Looks like it's one of the Hononegah Indians. As we'll get you a number as soon as we can. While we're waiting for the medical staff, we'll take a quick break. So after the stoppage, it is 2nd and 4 on the 6-yard line here for Hononegah. Warren takes the snap. This one's going to be thrown over the top, and another touchdown for Hononegah. Andre Pilgrim gets that one on the pitch and catch from the senior quarterback. Pilgrim, who just had the stoppage on that 4th down play on defense, picks up a touchdown of his own, and Hononegah has crossed 50 points here in the first half. They lead by a score of 55-0 with 2:01 left on the clock here in the second quarter. As, again, everything has really just been working here for the Indians on this Saturday afternoon.
Yep, it's been easy work for them today. Well prepared coming into this one.
Extra point is up, and it is good once again. Grayson Motter. It's another one up and through the uprights. So Hononegah is back up 56-6. They lead by 50 points here in the first half, as they have really taken it to this Auburn Knights squad, who has had no answers on defense here this afternoon. And Zach, we're looking at some of the scores that Hononegah has put up this season, and from what I can tell, this is actually their season high. They previously beat Jefferson 55-8 in week 1 of the regular season. Only the 3rd time they've crossed 50 points this year, but they have put up 56 points in the first half of the ball game. Truly a crazy offensive performance in just about every respect. They've done it on the ground, they've done it through the air, and there's not a whole lot more to say than that.
Yeah, they've done a really nice job this season, especially against these Rockford schools. I mean, 4-0, and it has not been close. 40 points is the closest margin when they played against Guilford.
This one is going to be kicked off from the 40-yard line once again, and it is going to be taken around the 5-yard line by Horton. Horton trying to get to the left side. He is going to be dragged down towards the 18. Looks like he was trying to see if that one would pop out of bounds. It did not. He was forced to pick the ball up on the turf, and Auburn's going to be starting the offensive drive deep inside their own territory. Again, ball spotted on the 18-yard line as they try to get a couple of points here before half. Of course, Zach, they would have to get a couple of touchdowns to avoid the running clock to start the second half, as the threshold is 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, 1:54 left. And what you don't want to do here if you're Auburn is get a quick turnover. So got to make sure you're looking for positive plays.
Purifoy scrambles out. He's going to find Horton up the right sideline, able to keep that play alive for quite a bit. Leaked out. Horton got behind the defense, and he picks up a good chunk of yardage close to the 43-yard line. 7 yards shy of midfield, but a good positive play that time. Once again, Terry Horton, a leading receiver here for Auburn this afternoon. The Knights moving quickly here. Purifoy in shotgun. 3 receivers to the top of the formation. Purifoy takes a snap. 3-step drop. Scrambles out once again, trying to keep the play alive. Looking downfield. He's going to throw this one downfield, and it is intercepted. Isaiah Huey with the interception as the second of the half goes in favor of Hononegah. They've picked off Purifoy twice here in the first half, as Hononegah's got a shot to put up even more points before the end of this first half.
Yeah, that time Purifoy just throwing it up, trying to hope his receiver makes a play. But his guy was not able to come down with it.
Yeah, we've had a couple of interceptions by Huey in the games that we've done. Of course, he had that one against Boylan that really kind of turned the tide in that ball game, as they were able to come back on the road and take out a very tough Titan squad a couple of weeks ago. And what was the closest game of the season for these Indians. After the interception, looks like this is Thomas Castelli in the game here for Warren. So we'll see if all these starters are going to be worked out of the ball game, as we mentioned a couple of times, with a lead this big. Put your backup quarterback in. He is a junior, likely to be the starter next season for the Indians, as Warren and plenty of seniors on this squad will graduate. Clock's running, just about a minute to go here. 1:07 on the clock here in the second half. Auburn trails by 50 points. Hononegah's got 56 on the board. This one is going to be handed off to the running back, and Auburn came away with that ball. They're going to say the running back was down. Looks like that was number 36, Eston Fichter, on the carry from Castelli. As we might have one more play here in the first half. Again, Auburn out of timeouts. I'm sure Hononegah will be more than happy to take this colossal lead into halftime. Got to keep some of your players up and going here, especially those backups or rotational players in the second half. I'm sure we'll see more of them. Castelli in the shotgun. This one is going to be handed off on the jet sweep. That is number 24, Adrian Lucas. Lucas trying to get to the outside. Excuse me, number 25, Anthony Buffalo. Not quite able to get the first down, but we do have a flag back around the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a holding penalty on Hononegah. We'll see if Auburn wants to take that or if they're going to decline it and let the clock run out. Wait for a signal from the official.
Looks like they might make him run one more play. Third and very, very long. So maybe they're hoping for an incomplete pass down the field, and we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see if, yes, indeed, they will keep the clock running. So no more plays here for Hononegah, as they'll take a 56-6 lead into halftime here at home against Auburn Knights, as the Indians have just been the team of the day. Again, score at halftime, 56-6, still 24 minutes to be played. Zach, we've talked about it here this first half. I don't really know if there's much more than we can say about this ball game other than Hononegah has come up and they've been ready to play. They put their stamp on this one, and they're trying to establish themselves as the favorite here in the Class 7A playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a impressive performance from the first half, and not all that surprising, right? Maybe the size of the deficit is, but the result from the first half is kind of what we expected. So we'll see how things go heading into the second half.
And again, for Auburn, obviously you are kind of disappointed with the way that this half has gone. You've only put up one touchdown. You've let in 56 points, which is just a crazy number in and of itself, not to mention in one half of football. But, this is their first time in the playoffs in a number of years since 2019. I know second-year head coach Willie Tolan is going to be a little bit disappointed today, but he can look back on the season. Again, still one half of football to go, but you can be kind of proud of what your Knights have done here this season.
Yeah, we'll see. And we'll see also it's a good opportunity to observe your players. Some guys that haven't been able to play a whole lot throughout the season during your competitive games. Those younger guys, maybe some juniors, sophomores, give them a good hard look in the second half and see how they perform against some adversity here at Hononegah.
Yeah, before we go to break, want to remind you that we've got some upcoming photography and videography for some of the remaining games in the playoffs. If some of these area schools can keep marching on, obviously Hononegah will be playing next week. Belvedere North already took down their opponent. They'll play week 2. Well, we expect that Boylan is going to do the same. Again, they were leading earlier, 9-0 over their Chicago area school. Towards the end of November, we'll have some basketball, Zach. We're excited to see some of these squads that we've seen. I'm sure we'll even see some of the players that have been out on the football field on the hard court. I know we're looking forward to that. So we'll take a break for halftime, and we'll be back to get you set for the second half. Here, 56-6, Hononegah on top of Auburn here at Hononegah High School. And welcome back here to Hononegah High School, where the Indians lead the Auburn Knights by a score of 56-6 at halftime. As a reminder, today's game on Clutch Sports Media 815 is brought to you by D1 Training Rockford. Try their training facility for free by calling 815-569-5630. About 2.5 minutes left until the second half kick. Again, the score disparity is what it is, and thanks to it, we will almost assuredly see a running clock in the second half, unless the Auburn Knights can pull within a couple more points. A couple of first half stats here for the Indians. Cole Warren, 7 of 8 passing, 146 yards through the air, and 5 touchdowns. He's got a perfect rating. 3 of those touchdowns going to Isaiah Huey, Joseph Melker, and Andre Pilgrim, catching the other 2. Speaking of Huey, he has also carried one in for 6. He's got 4 touchdowns there in the first half. The Indians have ran for a combined 200 yards across 6 different players, so they have really had everybody do it here today. A combined effort, as we have seen all season. For Auburn, a tough game, tough first half for the Knights. And again, what is their first playoff game since 2019. Anthony Purifoy has played well, all things considered, 11 of 18. Does have 2 interceptions, but a touchdown, a long touchdown, 50 yards to Terry Horton, who is the Knights' leading scorer and is the leading scorer in today's ball game. He's got 8 for 140 yards. And again, that touchdown, nobody else has more than 2 receptions or 10 yards through the air. A score update from Boylan. They lead by a score of 16-6 in their game this afternoon, which again was delayed about a half an hour against Phillips, as they are looking to move on to the second round and be one of the couple of teams in the NIC 10, as Belvedere North has already done so in 6A. Again, Boylan in 4A. Harlem losing last night, and then these 2 teams make up the remainder of the 5 NIC 10 schools that got into postseason play. Hononegah will advance unless something crazy were to happen, as again they lead by 50 points here at halftime. If you're looking to see some pictures and videos of today's ball game as well as the other games in the area, be sure to follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, or X as they call it. At Clutch Sports 815. Be able to find some pictures from today's broadcast. And again, games around the league and some games from the regular season that we were on site for as well. Saw a number of great games. You know, that Boylan and Hononegah game was a thriller. Really the only time that Hononegah has been tested, and a good opportunity for them throughout the rest of the season, as I'm sure they'll lean on that experience as they get deeper into the playoffs and face some of the tougher squads in this 7A bracket. Getting ready for kickoff again. Hononegah deferred to the second half, so they will get the ball here at halftime. We saw Warren and the majority of the starters for the Indians come out at the end of the first half. We're sure to see some of their reserve players as well as we move out throughout the second. Thomas Castelli came in for the last drive of the half at quarterback in lieu of the NIC 10's leading passer for this season. Ball ready to play, spotted at the 40 as Auburn's going to kick this one away to Hononegah. Got 1 returner back at the 20-yard line. Looks like that is number 22, Preston Ross. This one's going to be kicked, and it's going to be hit the turf around the 20-yard line and finally picked up over there towards the sideline as the return man's got a little bit of space. Looks like that was number 6, Caven Cowell, on the return. He went back and fielded that ball off the turf. So we'll see Hononegah start off this second half on possession around the 26-yard line. Clock is running again. The score disparity is 50 points, so it'll be running throughout the second half unless Auburn can get it a little bit closer.
Trevor, another score update for you. Byron, the Tigers lead 58-0 at halftime over Chicago Noble Hansberry. So another game we've got our eye on, and we'll be sure to check on their game next week as well.
First play of the half is a jet sweep. That's number 23, Nolan Maybe on the carry. It's going to be dropped for a loss on that first down carry. And Zach, I can only imagine it's a 50-point game here. Byron up 58 points at halftime. We saw them last week against Stillman Valley. And they are really looking to run through the entire bracket on their way to another state championship. And if today's score is any indication, I think they might have a great shot. One of the best teams in the entire region. They play at the lower class, 3A as their class this season. 4 receivers back for Hononegah as Thomas Castelli is in the ball game. This one is going to be thrown from Castelli over to Camden Rodriguez. That's number 4, as he is still going, breaks off one tackle, and is going to be out of bounds towards the 31-yard line. So a good gain that time on the second down throw, as it's going to bring 3rd and 5 here for the Indians. Hononegah now using the huddle here, as again they are in no rush this second half, leading by as many points as they are. Want to keep this clock rolling. Of course, it will be a running clock even with incompletions and out of bounds plays, as we're going to have a hard count and an offsides. Looks like Tazir Henderson jumped off the right side, trying to get a head start here, bring up a 4th down. Instead, they'll give them 5 back, and that'll be enough to give the Indians a first down.
And a great job from Hononegah to pick up the first down without even snapping the ball. It's clear that, top to bottom, this program is ready to step onto the field and fill a role whenever it's needed.
Our quick score update, 28-0, Dupec over Oregon late in the 3rd quarter. Another one of these area teams. Snap's going to be blown dead. Looks like we're going to have a false start on Hononegah, as that'll push him back 5 yards. Still again, first down. They got to get to the 46 inside their own territory. Ball is going to be moved back now towards the 31-yard line of the Indians. Hononegah we'll see what they do here on offense this second half. Again, we mentioned it in the first as they were building that lead. Sure, they do not want to get too deep into their bag here in the second half. They want to run simple concepts. This one's going to be a jet sweep to number 22, Preston Ross, as he's going to be stopped down around the line of scrimmage. No gain that time on the first down carry, 2nd and 15. But again, you don't want to put too many things on tape here in the playoffs. I'm sure the coaching staff has a couple of wrinkles that they've really just thrown out. They don't need to use them with the lead being what it is, and they want to save those for some of the later rounds as you face some of the tougher and tougher opponents. After the false start and no yard gain on first down, 2nd and 15 here for the Indians. Castelli takes this one. He's going to throw it off to the right. Going to be hauled in by number 23, Nolan Maybe, but he's going to be dropped for a 1-yard loss that time, as the swing pass did not work for the Indians. So 3rd and 16 upcoming here for Hononegah.
And Trevor, another thing, at this point of the season, your opponents are going to have plenty of tape on you, especially playing against Auburn last week. But, your guys are going to be fresh coming into next week. Those skill position guys don't have to cut up and down the field and experience those tackles, those hits that really can wear on you over the course of a long season.
Castelli in the shotgun once again. He's got a 3-step drop, now scrambles up the middle following pressure, breaks out of a tackle, and he is going to be keeping his feet, and he's going to get across the first down marker. Takes a big hit at the end by number 3, Seanquez Simmons, as he jumped in the air, and looks like he's going to go down to the turf as he spun in the air as he tried to get the first down marker and took a walloping from the defense from Auburn. Something that you do not want to see here this late in the game, especially with some of your reserves in. And we'll take a break here as the medical staff takes a look at the backup quarterback. As we bring it back to the broadcast, we want to remind you that today's Gamecast is brought to you by D1 Training Rockford. Try their training facility for free by calling 815-569-5630. That looks like Castelli is going to have to come out of this ball game. Got a different player warming up on the sideline. That's number 12. We do not have him on the roster sheet. We'll try to get you a name for that if he does indeed come in at the quarterback position.
Well, Trevor, it was a really good play that time to pick up the first down and really made an extra effort. But right there at the end, and this is something he'll learn as he goes forward in his football career, it's, really important to make sure you stay on your feet, right? He jumped and kind of did a little spin in the air and was not in a position to brace himself for the fall and really got hit pretty hard. So hopefully he's all right down there.
Yeah, still being treated over there towards midfield. Yeah, he took a big hit. Looks like Merriweather is the last name of number 12 over here on the sideline. Do not have a first name here. We'll take another break here as they treat Thomas Castelli at midfield. Still have a bit of delay here as quarterback Thomas Castelli took a big hit, still being treated towards midfield. I remind you that today's Gamecast is brought to you by D1 Training Rockford. Try their training facility for free by calling 815-569-5630, as well as Seiler Financial Group. As Castelli pops to his feet, it's a good sign. Seiler Financial Group, give them a call at 815-484-0700 or find them online at seilerfinancial.com. Sure to tune into 1440 WROK every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Their motto for navigating retirement with Drew Seiler. Their motto is our family helping your family. Our family-owned business that have been in business for more than 38 years. Today's game also made possible in part thanks to Brian Falk State Farm. Give Brian a call at 815-398-2552 for all your insurance needs. And by Lars Plumbing. Lars Plumbing has been serving the Rockford area since 2017. Give John a call at 815-378-8686. Good news here as Castelli was able to pop back to his feet, walk off under his own power, and is now standing up around the bench. Takes a seat, but great news as he was able to get back up. Not sure if he got the wind knocked out of him. Tough to see from our angle. Took a big hit as he got that first down. Again, Merriweather comes into the ball game at quarterback. This ball on the turf. And it's going to be Auburn ball. They fall on it. And that's what the far sideline official is going to rule. We'll see what the official ruling is. It look like, now they will say it is. Yes, indeed, it is Auburn ball. A couple of conflicting signals from the referee and the sideline judge. One was signaling Hononegah ball. One was signaling Auburn ball, but Auburn takes over following the fumble recovery. As clock again still rolling. Second half running clock as Hononegah leads by 50 points here in this afternoon's ball game. See if this Auburn coaching staff keeps their starters in the ball game. Looks like they will indeed. Purifoy comes out here in the shotgun formation. They're going to have 5 receivers out, 3 to the bottom, including a leading receiver in today's ball game. Terry Horton, the only guy up above 100 yards. He had 140 in that first half and a touchdown. This one is going to be taken by Purifoy. Fakes. Purifoy is going deep down the sideline as this one's going to be knocked away. Number 9, Leonard Spates, trying to come back to that ball, but good defense on the backside by Christian Labato on the far sideline. Zach, have not said Spates' name all day here today. He was the second leading receiver in the NIC 10. It looks like this Auburn coaching staff really was targeting Horton, and really just tough to get into your offense when you started from so far behind, as the Knights did in that first half.
Yeah, it's really tough to figure out how to compete with this Hononegah defense. They do a really nice job taking away your game plan, and so I think that is what's resulted in Spates' lack of production today.
This one's going to be handed off in the jet sweep to Seanquez Simmons. Simmons trying to get the edge. He does not have room over there towards the Auburn sideline. He is dragged down for a no-yard gain on second down. So to bring up 3rd and 10 onto the 45-yard line inside Hononegah territory following the fumble, as Auburn tries to put up some points here before the end of the ball game, try to make this game a little bit closer. So 3rd and 10 for the Knights behind their senior quarterback Anthony Purifoy. Hononegah crowd still making plenty of noise here late on this Saturday afternoon, round 1 of the IHSA playoffs. Purifoy 3-step drop in shotgun. He's got pressure immediately, and he is going to be sacked. Ball's on the turf. And it's going to be Hononegah ball. Trenton Harshberger with the sack on the senior quarterback. He forces the fumble. Hononegah takes over. Another turnover in this ball game. This time goes towards the Indians, and they'll take over across midfield. A 4th turnover of the ball game. 3 on defense, 1 on special teams. And again, just all phases of the football game have been working for the Indians here today.
Yeah, another great job by the defense there and alertly falling on the football. The Legion of Doom flag being waved around there by the Hononegah defense on the sideline.
Merriweather is going to hand this ball off up the middle. 37, Ethan Ballard on the carry that time. Goes nowhere on first down. So 2nd and 14 as they give him 4 yards on that loss. Merriweather comes over here towards the sideline, gets the play in. Again, clock running under 3 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. No offensive touchdowns, no points so far through this second half. As again, running clock here in the IHSA playoffs with the score difference as it is. Merriweather in formation, as he's going to take the quarterback keeper, and he goes nowhere, still wrapped up, trying to get out of it, as Jasper Jenkins had him on the first contact. And Merriweather is going to be dropped for a big loss that time. Good on him trying to make a play, but, at this stage, your backup quarterback is out on the sideline, Zach. Maybe you just take that one, fall to the turf. As it stands, it's going to be a 3rd and very long here for the Hononegah Indians.
Yeah, Trevor Merriweather, the 3rd-string quarterback, probably didn't expect to get into this ball game here today. But great experience for him as well, figuring out how to operate this offense.
There's Merriweather hands the ball off on the far sideline. Number 48, Braden Lane, has got the space and a good run on 3rd and long. Not enough to pick up a first down, but nearly 25 yards on that carry. As it's going to be 4th and medium here for Hononegah. 4th and about 6 yards. We'll see if this Indian coaching staff sends out the special teams unit. We have not seen them punt the ball away, to my recollection, as looks like they indeed will kick it away here. No real reason to risk going for it. 4th and 7, ball on the 44.
Yeah, Trevor, every time they've touched the ball, it's either been the expiration of the half or it's ended up in the end zone, but first time Auburn is able to stop them here.
Ball skipped on the turf. Good recovery that time by the punter. He's able to get it away, and it's going to hit around a 23-yard line. Now rolls back to the 24. Decent punt that time, about 20 yards on the net, as the Auburn Knights will take over near their 25-yard line. They will spot it officially on the 24. We'll see if they get a playoff here before the end of the third quarter. 30 seconds and running here. Again, no offense here in this third quarter. Neither squad has put up points here in the third. As looks like Auburn is going to let this one wind down. So at the end of 3, score remains what it was at halftime. Hononegah on top of Auburn, 56-6, as they take their 50-point lead into the into the fourth quarter. And again, they have just been really dominant on all phases of today's ball game. While we have a break in between quarters, I want to remind you that today's game is brought to you by D1 Training Rockford. Try their training facility for free by calling 815-569-5630. Today's broadcast also made possible in part thanks to Seiler Financial Group. Give them a call at 815-484-0700 or find them online at seilerfinancial.com. Be sure to tune in to 1440 WROK Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. for Navigating Retirement with Drew Seiler. And tonight's game also made possible thanks to Brian Falk State Farm. Give Brian a call at 815-398-2552 for all your insurance needs, as well as Lars Plumbing. Lars Plumbing has been serving the Rockford area since 2017. Give John a call at 815-378-8686. So Auburn takes over after the punt, as they'll try to put up some points here in the fourth quarter. As last time they had the ball, they turned it over. This one's going to be taken by Purifoy, thrown out wide to number 9, Leonard Spates. Spates trying to get some room to the outside, but a great arm tackle that time on the edge by number 14, Nolan Gibson. Spates really only able to get a couple of yards on that play. Could have been a horse collar, no flag on the play. They'll say he gained about a yard or so on that first down reception. As again, they try to go down and put up some points here before the game ends.
Another score from Pecatonica. Dupac leads 34-0 over Oregon. Just under 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Purifoy in the shotgun, 3 receivers to the top. No, excuse me, this is number 17 now as the quarterback. This one's going to be thrown out wide to Terry Horton. Horton's got some space down the sideline. Great play that time by the senior receiver as he's able to get near midfield. Don't have number 17 on our roster. We'll try to get you a name here in just a moment as we can. But the backups are in here for the Auburn offense as well, trying to get some of their players some experience. Zach, I think we might be saying the same thing from both sides. Both squads might have elevated a couple of sophomores from their JV squad. Don't normally play on the senior roster, but just getting some experience here in the ball game late in this one. Again, Auburn ball on the 50-yard line. This one's going to be handed off to number 22, Malik Livingston, as he keeps going towards the outside. Zach, we saw him against the game versus East. He's just a sophomore here, but he looked like he could be one of the guys that they really feature in these upcoming years. A good, tough runner is the sophomore. As he kind of closed out that game against Rockford East earlier this year. I'm excited to see what he can do in his junior and senior years.
Yeah, he did a really nice job putting his stamp on that game, and he's a guy that you really want to have on your team, and you want to get him involved, keep him involved here against Hononegah, and you're really going to look for him to be an offensive leader coming up in the next few seasons.
And a timeout here for Auburn, their first of the half. Gives us a great opportunity to remind you that today's Gamecast is brought to you by D1 Training Rockford. Try their training facility for free by calling 815-569-5630. So 2nd and 5, 9 minutes, 56 seconds left to go here in the 4th quarter. After the timeout from Auburn, he's going to be handed off up the middle once again to Livingston. Livingston going left, and he's going to get out to around the 40-yard line. They'll mark him about half a yard shy of the first down marker. So 3rd and inches upcoming here for Auburn. And they trail by 50 points here. Late in the ball game, 4th quarter just underway. Clock is rolling. 9 minutes, 20 seconds left to go here in the ball game, as both teams just trying to ride this one out with no further injuries. Seen a couple of guys go down for Hononegah. They'd like to avoid that. Number 17 in formation. He gets the ball. He's looking back to pass, throws this one down the sideline, and this one almost hauled in by Horton with the one-handed catch. Falls to the turf, but we do have a penalty flag. Looks like this one might be pass interference by the Hononegah Indians, as Auburn will pick up a free first down.
Well, Trevor, I really like the play call there. What you can do, throw it up, see if something happens. Maybe you get a penalty like this. Maybe you get a big-time catch. But even if you didn't pick it up right there, it's still just 4th and inches with a great opportunity to make a play. So excellent job by the Auburn side.
Yeah, again, that was targeted to Horton, and he's really been the man for this Auburn squad here today. Again, leading both schools in all-purpose yards. He had more than 100 yards receiving in that first half. This one's going to be snapped to number 17, going down that way again, and this one's going to be floated up and intercepted by Hononegah towards the far sideline. We got a flag on the run back, but another interception here. That's the 5th of the ball game. 4 on defense for Hononegah, as they'll take over following the interception.
Well, they've played really well on the defensive side of the ball, taking their chances where they were supposed to. And another one right here just gets them the chance to control the pace of the game and ride out these last 7 minutes to victory.
Now that will go against Hononegah, so they'll be backed up even further inside their own territory. Ball around the 9-yard line, 1st and 10. 7 minutes and 24 seconds left to go here in this one. As again, the 3rd quarterback for Hononegah has come into this ball game. That's Merriweather, number 12. It's in the pistol formation. This one is going to be handed off to the running back, and not a whole lot doing that time. Number 37, Ethan Ballard, on that carry. I'll say he gained no yards on that one. He's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
Trevor, also want to give a shout out to the Hononegah concession stand, providing some pork chop sandwiches up here at halftime. They were delicious. Always love coming up here to Hononegah. They're great hosts for us. We're so grateful that we've been embraced by the community up here at Clutch Sports Media. Can't wait to spend the basketball season with them as well and pick up some soccer. We've done soccer here, and hopefully some baseball in the spring.
This one's going to be handed off once again to Ballard as he's still going. Ball on the turf, and it's going to be recovered in the end zone for Auburn. Leonard Spates falls on that one. A defensive touchdown here in the 4th quarter for Auburn as Spates falls on that one for 6. As Ballard was stripped back around his own goal line. Ball jumped back towards the back of the end zone, but Auburn able to fall on that one before it went out, and they put up another touchdown here in today's ball game, the 1st of the 2nd half.
Well, that time, Trevor, what they should have done is just pushed up the field. Don't try to get extra yards. It's too much of a risky play down near your own goal line there. So Ballard with a mistake, and I'm sure he'll learn from that one. Better to fumble it now than in a tight game.
Yeah, he is listed as a receiver on the roster sheet as extra point is up, and it is no good. Pushed it a little bit to the left that time. So 2 extra points, 2 misses here for Auburn as they trail by a score of 12-56 here in the fourth quarter, under around 5 minutes left to go here in today's ball game. As we get into the late stages of this one, clock is just about 3 o'clock here on this Saturday afternoon. A lot of football going around the area. Of course, week 1 of the IHSA playoffs in all classes. You know, you got collegiate and professional football going on as well. A lot of sports, you know, the baseball, you know, wrapping up their season as well. Basketball just getting underway. This is the time of year to be a sports fan if you are a fan of multiple sports, especially in this area. Again, clock running 4.5. Might see one more drive here for Hononegah, as Auburn will be kicking this one off to the Indians following the defensive touchdown. Again, that one was fallen on by Leonard Spates in the end zone for their second touchdown of the game. As Zach, you mentioned, we're doing some more sports. Again, if you want to find some photos, videos, highlights from today's ball game and from this season and last season as well, be sure to follow us on social media at Clutch Sports 815, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all these social media platforms. And we also have replays of the games from this past season. There's a couple of really exciting ones, both of the Belvedere North and Boylan and Hononegah and Boylan, were some fantastic games that we were able to be on site for this year, and I know I really enjoyed those, and I have enjoyed, you know, bringing you football here this season, our second season up here, you know, in the Rockford area. Of course, we got a lot of games going on down in the Peoria area with Clutch Sports Media down there, and they put on some great broadcasts as well.
Yeah, it's been so much fun being a part of this Clutch Sports Media team. If you want to get involved and help support local sports coverage, go ahead and reach out to us via email, clutchsports815@gmail.com, or give me, Zach, a call at 815-505-6731. Love to chat with you about how you can get involved and get some eyes on your business.
This one's going to be handed off. Looks like that is number 28, Jesse Longstreet. Took a big hit, but was able to keep going and picks up 2 yards on that first down carry. As we just have a couple more plays left to go in this ball game before Hononegah will move on and advance to round 2 of the playoffs next week. Again, I'm sure we'll have some exciting photography and videography from that matchup against whomever they go toe-to-toe with. And that team, I'm sure, is reviewing film. They will be reviewing film on this Indian squad, what they have done all season. They've got a tough task ahead of them, as any team does in Class 7A against this Indian squad. Merriweather in the shotgun once again. Under 2 minutes to go here in this ball game. This is a bad snap. Merriweather able to recover it. Looks like he caught that one almost on Ballard's helmet. Ballard was off to the right hip of Merriweather. Ball is snapped to the right side of the face mask of Ballard. But good hands that time by Merriweather to secure it, pull it out, and able to just fall on that one for a 1-yard loss. Got an update here. Byron 72-0 in today's ball game. Another just monstrous blowout from those Tigers that we saw last week. They have been putting up routinely more than 60 points. Got a number of shutouts this season, and you know, they've got to be one of the favorites to win the state championship at their class level this year. Another handoff to Ballard up the middle, goes for 1 yard. Be 4th down. We're under a minute here. Hononegah is going to be forced to kick this ball away once before the end of the ball game, so Auburn will have at least one more shot if they can get a good return. Of course, clock will run regardless, so this might be the last play of the game no matter what. We'll see if this Auburn coaching staff wants to use a timeout, get a little more experience, or if they just want to let this one run out following the punt here from Hononegah. Looks like Hononegah might be taking a timeout as the play clock winds down. As yes, indeed, they will. Be 20 seconds left to go as Hononegah takes their second timeout. Should be the last stoppage of the game, and gives you one final opportunity to let you know that today's GameCast was brought to you by D1 Training Rockford. Try their training facility for free by calling 815-569-5630. Zach, you were mentioning if you want to get involved, help us put together these broadcasts and, some great pictures and whatnot from around the Rockford area. If you're interested in getting involved with sponsoring us, we're always looking for new sponsors as well. Be sure to reach out through those same platforms. Again, clutchsports815@gmail.com for the best way, help us bring some much-needed media coverage, video coverage, audio coverage to Rockford area sports, which, is really something that I think we've been needing here in this area for quite some time. And we're happy to help get involved and start bringing some extra coverage here towards the athletes in this area that we know. There's a number of special ones that can go on and play at some next levels. Hononegah in the punting formation. Punter standing around the 22. Good snap. This one's going to be kicked away. Number 18 for Auburn is going to be back, and this one's going to be recovered by number 58. He's still going, but this one should be brought back to where the ball was initially contacted and recovered by Hononegah. Not going to matter either way as the clock runs out, and Hononegah 50 put up 35 points in the first quarter and didn't look back. Indians came out today with domination on their mind. They did so, and they've got really high, lofty aspirations for the rest of their season. They would love to make a run deep into the playoffs. They want to be playing towards the end of November with a shot at bringing home a championship here at the 7A level.
Yeah, this one pretty cut and dry, Trevor. Not a whole lot of questions remain after this dominating victory, and really the game was over well before halftime. So the final score doesn't even reflect how far these two teams are apart. But Auburn, congratulations on a nice season, getting into the playoffs. And, of course, we look forward to watching Hononegah deep into their playoff run.
So for Zach Larson, I am Trevor Larson. I want to thank you so much for joining us on today's GameCast and throughout the entire regular season here at the Nic 10 and Big Northern Conferences high school football here in the Rockford region. We're signing off one more time here for this season. Again, we'll be back with some basketball coverage, some baseball, soccer coverage in the springtime as well. Be sure to look out for those coming to the various high schools in the area. I'm sure we'll see many of the athletes that played on the football field at those sports, as well as many of these guys that are multi-talented athletes. We're sure to be seeing what they can do in their respective sports. So again, one final time, signing off, Zach Larson, Trevor Larson for Clutch Sports Media. Thank you for letting us bring you today's broadcast. Have a great rest of your afternoon, evening, and night. And we'll look forward to joining you on our next broadcast here in a couple of weeks on the hard court.